multitasking, I guess. You know, I like to, cope with things with, like, being funny. So I'm gonna keep saying jokes. So, like, don't think I'm trying to be offensive or anything. This is just, my brain. Ah! Almost got hit by a car. We love that. This is what Target looks like. The entire thing is spray painted. This is Target on Lake Street. Everything is getting burned. There's a fire right there. Holy shit. If y'all want to see what inside of Target looks like, here we go. I'm not going to go all the way in. But like, this is an emergency door. Look at that shit. Like, this is what inside of Target looks like. Everything's flooded with water. There's literally water everywhere in here. This is Target. They done fucked up Target. Look at this shit. They done broke into the pharmacy and everything. Oh shit, they turned off the light. I'm leaving, bro. I'm leaving. I don't fuck with the dark.
Alright, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect brethren. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit and power through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Brother reposted this, that this Target that's being burned down in Minnesota due to Gregory, what the hell is this guy's name again? The guy that just got choked out by the cops, and this is what it resulted to, which I guarantee you, Salakia. But I guarantee you that Jake, this is their own neighborhoods they're burning down, okay? That's the same thing that happened during the Rodney King riots. Instead of stupid Jakes taking a fight to the so-called white man, they're burning their own and vandalizing their own businesses. Like, how stupid is that? All right, but what really stood out to me is this Black Lives Matter thing. Okay, we know Black Lives Matter is set up by the LGBT corporation. All right, and the head of it, I believe, is a woman that's undesirable from what I've last researched years ago. It may have changed, but nonetheless, we know that this is set up by Eve. And this right here screaming agent provocateur all the way, because I mean, I understand that Jake is going to turn up through the spirit, and this is all part of prophecy, but I don't see Jake getting his bold yet. You know what I mean? But hey, we're living in the times of judgment, that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is unleashing these death angels out here to wreak havoc on the earth. All right, but it says Black Lives Matter, and to me, this is screaming agent provocateur, if I might add. Okay, so look at this. Black Lives Matter. And of course, you got this silly ass chick, think everything is a joke, and she may be part of the program too. And she must be an Ephraimite, because she stated that, she make a living off laughing, and the scriptures refer to Ephraim as a silly dove. And you Puerto Ricans are silly as all hell, all right? And that's biblically. You're a bunch of silly, goofy individuals, and you don't take shit serious until it's too late. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, man, this is what's going to be the norm in America in due time. So as the more cops start killing Jake, the more COVID-19 affects jobs like unemployment. They say that the claim that hit 2.1 million today, with 40 million in loss of jobs. Okay, so that's almost a third of the population that's without a job, man. Okay, and things are gonna get worse because people ain't making no money, and the unemployment claims, they're not going through. Either the systems are freezing or something else is going on with it, or Esau is playing with the money. But nonetheless, my woman, her mother was telling me that she's not getting the extra incentive, the extra $600 a week. She's not even getting that. So I don't know what the hell Esau is talking about, but some Jakes ain't getting that money, man. And we said that will happen, which is gonna lead you Jakes into dire straits, and you're gonna result to robbing and killing and looting and stealing. But you're gonna do it to your own people first, okay? Because you ain't gonna look at the bigger picture that this is part of an agenda. this whole killing of that guy Gregory something, I keep forgetting his last name, but that was all set up and publicized for you to do just this, so they could be justified on bringing in different austerity measures and labeling you Jake's wild animal, so they could be justified on eliminating you. Okay, so anyway, let's look at the rest of the video, and I'm gonna play another one.
Well, this is an emergency door. Look at that shit. Look, this is what inside a Target looks like. Everything's
Like Jake set a fire to Target. I don't know, man. Just screaming agent provocateur. And like I said, this is just my opinion, but I believe this is some agent provocateur shit. Because I just don't see Jake really getting this fed up yet. I mean, they will, because the scriptures say Judah would be a terror to Egypt. But, you know, like I said, that's up for debate, you know. And Jake could have done it just out of ill intent or out of retaliating against the police force. But I believe that they hired crisis actors too to go around the city and wreck hell. Because during the Black Lives Matter, we know that that's a paid psyop. Okay, we know that Black Lives Matter is what you call controlled opposition.
with water. There's literally water everywhere in here. This is Target. They done fucked up Target. Look at this shit. They done broke into the pharmacy and everything. Oh shit, they turned off the light. Oh, leave it, God. Oh, leave it. Oh, push the start.
See, niggas think shit is a joke, man. And the last thing you want to do is be out there, man, for one thing, because, hey, what if Esau come up and start arresting people? That's what's so fishy about this. You know, but nonetheless, this is a necessity. This needs to happen in Babylon on a huge scale, and it will. As this economy tank, these things are going to continue to happen, all right? So I'm going to go to the next video. Yes, see, Black Lives Matter. That show you that that's a psyop, man, because once again, they're controlled opposition. They're set up by the government. You know, they're funded, you know, to go out and do these protests and mess things up because, hey, why Esau ain't gunning nobody down like that? And they talking about Molotov cocktails. What the hell do Jake know how to make a Molotov cocktail? Which is pretty simple. But Jake, man, ain't at home making bombs and pipe bombs and shit just to throw at police. These are paid agents, man. And I'm not saying that Jake is not out there protesting and just out of their own ambitions of their ill at heart, but you know, like I said, this has to be a psyop too. But nonetheless, this is going to be the norm in Babylon, man. All right, when things are just going to be totally shut down for the better, you know, but for the worse of you people.
Has been a hotspot all day. East Lake Street, they're right there. They're starting to. We're gonna move back. But they're starting to throw Molotov cocktails. We're going.
Wow. Babylon is finna burn, man. You know, Babylon is really finna burn. And on top of that, you know, this is what happened during the Rodney King riots, you know. So, matter of fact, before I go to the scriptures, I want to get something. Okay, so I did a Google search on pressure from above and pressure from below. Okay, it says socialist strategy against America, pressure from above and pressure from below. So let's click on that, thenewamerican.com. I'm gonna just read a little bit from here, because these devils ain't nothing but a bunch of socialists, man, the fascists. Okay, it's a socialist strategy. Okay, so it says here, call what is happening to our nation and to ourselves communism or fascism or totalitarianism or revolution or whatever other name you might choose. But the goal of the deep state, which is the insiders, doesn't change. It says those who want to make up the deep state want total power over everyone. But how they intend to reach this goal must become known in order to combat their planning that continues to unfold. It says when Lenin and Trotsky seized control of Russia in 1917, they did so in the name of communism. Okay, America is nothing but a communist country if you really look at it. It's not a democracy, man. They're just to fool the people. But after they swallowed up a few surrounding countries, they called their conquest of the Union of the Soviet Social Republics, which is the USSR, all right, the Soviet Union. It says socialism was their real goal. It says the initial conquest was made by brute force, and this is what you're seeing happen right now by forcing these quarantines, by forcing the COVID-19, vaccinating people, testing people against their will. And even Trump stated that during Operation Warp Speed, hey, they have a vaccination that they're going to use the military to administer. So that's brute force right there, because, hey, if you don't want to take it willingly, they're going to make you take it, you know? If you don't open the door and let them in, they're going to kick down the door. They're going to bust it down. Okay? And it says here, but they achieved many other succeeding takeovers using a process that came to be known as a revolutionary parliamentarianism. It says parliamentarianism. It says the newer way debunked by the Czechoslovakia, a nation that succumbed to the totalitarian slavery during the post-World War II years. It says the communists who implemented revolutionary parliamentarianism did not need to resort to military methods or police-led armed force in order to seize control. All right, they didn't have to do that then, but now this is what they're doing. Okay, so this is the wave of the new world. Like, America is basically becoming the fastest nation, you know, and the New American, this breaks it down, and this is actually a good article. Yep. So anyway, let's go straight to the scriptures. That's all I really wanted to read on that. But at the end of the day, this is all done by the Spirit and power Yahweh Shai. Okay, so this is Luke 12:49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what would I if it already be kindled? So before the Lord comes back and touch down on the planet Earth to redeem his election, all hell gonna break loose, man. Businesses are gonna be burnt, cities are gonna be totally wasted. You know, the cities are gonna be without inhabitant. People are gonna be dead. Like the scriptures say that the dead should be casted out as dung. And that's the times we're living in. These people, this is the part of the race riot, man. You know? Alright? So 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 23. It says, and the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them, for the earth should be wasted and the city should be casted down. And that, all right, and that's part of the city being casted down. These protests, burning buildings, you know, destroying cop vehicles, race riots, Molotov cocktails, and there should be no man left to till the earth and to sow it, and the trees should give fruit, and who should gather them? Okay, so that's just the epitome of what's going to happen in this society, and we're on edge of a revolution, and the revolution has already started pretty much against the government, because these jakes are getting gunned down in cold blood, which that's really the Heavenly Father. But nonetheless, you know, hey, Esau Edom, he's not getting away with it. You know, 2nd Ezra 15 and 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and other destruction draw nigh, and one people should stand up and fight against one another with swords in their hands. All right, and this is the race riots, and this is what you exemplified in that video. And it says, there should be sedition among men, invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of that action should stand in their own power. And going back to this video, Jake took it to the streets, man. You know, whether this is a Black Lives Matter or some type of agent provocateurs, nonetheless, this Negro is the face of this revolution right here, which is going to cause Esau to move in with more extremity measures.
This whole area here, this whole city block here, has been a hotspot all day. East Lake Street, Minnehaha, and they're right there. They're starting to, we're gonna move back. They're starting to throw Molotov cocktails. We're going.
The fuck is looting? And we just read in Luke 12:49. That's part of the fire that's going to be on the earth before the Lord returns. You know? And it says, and a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, because they're going to set up barricades and troops. And it says, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled. And this city is troubled now due to that police killing that Jake. And the houses should be destroyed and men should be afraid. And the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And all those things are coming in heavy rate. You know, this society is going to be totally wasted when the food shortages come, even more when there's no work. You know, when the stores are closed, people are going to really resort to violence, man. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 19:16. It says, "And in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he's shaking over it. And the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, and Judah is you Negroes," okay? And this whole protest is to face the Negroes, man. Even though it may be set up, it says, "Everyone that making mention thereof should be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it." And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom.